Hi folks, welcome back. We're going to do a little Amish Guy. This is our next little fella that we're going to do. What you want to do is draw the pattern out on a bandsaw. This is not from a block. This is going to be a little more difficult, but I think it would be okay for the beginner to join along and to try to carve one of these. This is just a simple pattern. We're going to cut out the head and the hat first down, and then we'll do his body. So what we're going to do is, I've already started here. I put a stop cut at the end here where his head is, and we're just chopping some of this out. You get another knife here, and I'm just going to start. Well, the first thing we need to do, I keep forgetting to do this in the last couple of videos here, we need to put a center line down, okay? That will help us as a reference point, as we've said before in the past. When you have a reference point, what you want to do is just take your finger, lean it up against, and then lean your pencil and see if you're near the middle. You turn it around, check the other side. See, it's just a little bit off, so I push it over just a tad. Okay, this just is so much easier to carve when you know where you're at in your carvings and where you're taking maybe too much off one place than another. You can eye it up much better. So we always put a center line for a reference point. I do anyway. Some other carvers may not, but that's how I usually do it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start chopping the hat out. Oh, that's the other thing we need to do. We have to determine how far we can cut this hat out. So technically, if this is the top of the hat, okay, we make an oval shape here, and what I'm going to do is see here how far we've got to go. Okay, and the brim of the hat is a little bit further, so you've got to go that distance. Whatever this distance is here, okay, that's the distance you have to allow around the hat. Okay, so actually we're not going to cut too much of that hat off. Good thing we checked that now than checking it later, and then it will look different and not right. So what we're going to do is we're going to I thought I had my other knife here. Hang on just a second here. I take my knives over to the farm, and I take them everywhere, so I don't always have them in one location, which I should. But okay, we're going to just use this one here. What we're going to do is we're just going to start trimming out the hat portion first. You know, just trim the whole thing up till we get to that line. And it's kind of hard. This is a little older piece that I have. So I'm going to spray it with 50% rubbing alcohol and 50% water. And if you spray if you spray and you try to put your lines on, forget it. It's not that easy to do. So you want to put your lines on before you spray it, if you need to do that. I just find it a little more enjoyable to carve. Now, I don't saturate it all the time. Some people put it in a bag. I used to do that. I don't anymore. I found that one portion checked on me, but I think it was the wood. It wasn't so much that we were spraying it. I don't think it was cured to start with. So, but if you have a real dry piece, it shouldn't hurt it at all. Alright, so we're going to just take this out. See how I'm carving this with the pivot motion with my thumb on the handle. And that's what you want to do. You don't want to, or you can also do it this way if that's easier for you, which in a way it is for me right now. Okay, so we're just going to trim that hat to where we want the hat to start. So we're going to go a little further on this side. I'm going to put together a patriotic DVD for us folks in the U.S. It's going to be geared more for the 4th of July. It will be the eagle pin on the eagle letter opener, and I'm going to be doing an eagle in the round soon. I wanted to do a couple of little things before I got more into a major project. Some fun things here for some beginners to follow. And I think this will be a a fairly decent one for a beginner to work on. Okay, now I've got to determine where, right here at the top to here, I'm going to draw a line across, just like so. Alright, so this is where we're going to start chopping some of him out here. That was a little tougher than I like. Oh, it happens, folks. Doesn't always mean that you get a nice soft piece, but for the most part, where I get my woods, it's pretty decent stuff. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this head down from the body. I'm going to trim this all out offline here. When we come back, it will be down to there. Okay. Now we're going to go further in. In fact, I'll show you when we come back. Oh, let me do this. I'm running out of time. We're going to first cut this straight down, and then I'll be back in a little bit to show you how to actually, yeah, I'll show you how to take care of that. What you want to do is just put a stop cut in, you know, with your knife, and cut it down like so. Alright, and the same thing over here. You're just putting a stop cut across to the bottom of the beard there. Okay, and then you're just going to cut it out. Alright, so that's all that's to that. This Amish guy is just going to be with his hands in his pockets. It's not going to be anything, him holding anything or anything like that. So when we come back, this should be removed. Alright, both sides. Okay, we'll be back in a little bit.